Gamification is beginning to make its way into formal learning environments. Instead of courses consisting mainly of textbook learning and lectures, lessons are being built using game mechanics. In schools, gamification can be implemented in a number of ways, but the more common ones include challenges, points, levels, badges, and leaderboards. Let's look at how these mechanics can be used in the classroom. People love challenges. In fact, players are constantly required to meet challenges, such as solve puzzles, defeat enemies, or complete quests in order to advance. It's a major reason why we play games. The same elements can be applied to a gamified classroom, as homework and projects can be presented in a fun yet challenging way. For your next lesson, instead of starting your lecture with a list of learning objectives, start with a challenge. For example, here are 2 objectives for teaching skills required to deliver an elevator pitch. 1, determine the features, benefits, and unique differentiation of your product. 2, write a 30-second speech that creatively incorporates those elements. Well, scrap those objectives and provide students with a challenge. You're in San Francisco, attending the annual Game Developers Conference, hoping to get funding for your new game project. As you get into the elevator to head down to the lobby, someone calls out, "Hold the door, please!" In walks the president of Activision Studios. You have 30 seconds to describe your game concept to him. What do you say? Which scenario invites you to step up and give your best? By simply changing how you present assignments, you can transform the task into a much more enjoyable activity. When players successfully complete a challenge in a game, they receive a reward for their success. In school, students receive grades as their rewards. There are several problems with a grade reward system. A student has to be 60% successful just to go from an F to a D. However, in designing games, we reward players for making even the smallest effort in the beginning of a game to build confidence and keep them engaged. And for any students who were like me when I was in school, they go into class expecting an A, and anything less is demotivating. As for students who get A's with very little effort, earning another A is just not rewarding. But kids are very used to starting with a 0 score or experience points at the beginning of a game and earning a numeric reward that has no limit. Being able to earn your own personal best high score is perhaps the most frequently used reward system in games, and it's incredibly successful. Numerical feedback like this is popular because it is easy to interpret and understand, and minor increases and decreases are easy to absorb and quantify. According to a 2014 survey conducted by Talent LMS, 89% of respondents report they would become more engaged with a point system instead of grades. For your own reward system, consider throwing out the traditional grades. Have students begin with 0 experience points and enable them to earn more by completing challenges. Many games use a variety of systems to reward correct play, including scores, experience, time remaining, and so on. You can do this in the classroom as well. Read an optional library book on a topic being taught in class, receive reading points. Use the final amount of experience points to determine student ability. But if you must use a traditional grading system, then convert points to a letter grade when report cards are due. Levels function in a similar way to points in a game to give the player a sense of progression. Players know that they are advancing in a game when they make it to the next level. Levels divide the game experience into discrete sections so that players can clearly see their progress. They can think about their performance and determine which strategies have been successful and which have failed. Moreover, levels can be used to gate off certain features or rewards until the player has progressed through the more repetitive tasks of the lower levels. Likewise, the higher level will usually unlock more challenging tasks and goals, making progression to the next level increasingly difficult. In the classroom, you might use a leveling system to allow students to unlock new challenges and receive rewards, such as additional privileges and responsibilities within the class. Study shows that leveling systems are far more popular with students than our grades, but you need to carefully plan out level progression so as not to make any one student feel inferior to their peers due to being significantly behind. Games often combine levels and points with an achievement system. Here's one prototype system that I'm developing based upon digital worksheets created by educational technology specialist Alice Keeler. Students find a sequence of challenges on the class website. When they mark off that they have completed challenges, they earn experience points and are rewarded with badges. They also level up once they've received enough experience points to unlock the next set of challenges. This gives them immediate feedback to motivate further achievement. You might award students electronic or physical badges, even stickers, to award accomplishments. When students complete a lesson, give them a badge. These badges in turn increase the student's overall rank and unlock more challenging lessons. Now students have a clear picture of the path ahead of them and fun along the way. The trick is to award badges wisely in a meaningful way to make them more appreciated. Badges can also be used in a recognition of specific achievements or ways to encourage students to go above and beyond. Game designers also use achievements to reward players for doing something that perhaps not everyone would do, or finding something that not everyone would find. Get perfect attendance and complete all homework assignments on time for a month? Earn an on-target badge. Badges allow for visual and public celebration of student achievement. Even if badges are given for simply attempting an assignment, completing extra credit, or showing continued effort in reaching a goal, the mere recognition of effort can go a long way in motivating students to learn and is a great tool for boosting student confidence. Another game mechanic used to recognize player achievement are leaderboards. Since the earliest arcade games, leaderboards have been a great incentive for players to play a game over and over again to hone their skills, just so they can see their name on the high score table. The competitive nature of a leaderboard gives players something to strive for and staves off the boredom of doing the same task repeatedly, as there is a perceived reward at the end of the experience. Using leaderboards to display high scores on quizzes or badges awarded for achievements can be enough to kickstart student engagement. If students see how their learning journeys are progressing in comparison to their peers, they may be motivated to push through difficult assignments, just to rise to the top of the board. However, use of a leaderboard in the classroom has to be carefully planned so that struggling students don't become discouraged. Those at the bottom will need other incentives not to give up trying to climb to the top of the board, and the board needs to be frequently updated or cleared so that no one stays at the bottom for long. This collection of game mechanics is often called a PBL system, short for points, badges, and leaderboards. To summarize, learning objectives are presented as challenges. Points and levels are used to measure progression. Badges recognize student accomplishment, and leaderboards encourage competition. With such a system, students are rewarded for success, but not penalized for failure. By learning within a system of rewards without harsh penalties, students are not afraid to step outside of their comfort zone and fail. And by removing their fear of failure, students are encouraged to learn. Although PBL systems are the most common way gamification is implemented, there are many more game mechanics available to motivate learners. In our next video, we'll take a look at additional game mechanics you can use to motivate students through their desire for accomplishment.